Will your counterpart ever show you warmth again, approach you and stand by their feelings? That's the question we're asking today collectively. We're picking up on the current energy, and we'll take a look to see if there's any sign of change in your counterpart. If you see or feel your counterpart right now and think, wow, what's going on there? Somehow that just doesn't fit him at all. I don't know this person like that at all. So let's take a look now to see if your counterpart is getting back in touch with their feelings, moving in your direction. Dear ones, a very, very warm and loving hello to you all. Feel warmly and tightly hugged by me, and I'm happy about every single one of you who is here again watching this video. And dear ones, this reading is for the collective. The person cards are gender neutral, and it may not resonate with everyone. And yes, that also applies to timing. Time is fluid. You yourselves always control the timing. So we're tapping into the energy of the present moment and taking a look at what's going on with your counterpart, what's happening there. So I'm really focusing on the fundamental question. If your counterpart genuinely acknowledges their true feelings, then how exactly does that warmth and affection come toward you? So we have the Five of Cups, the profound Five of Cups. Your counterpart is currently in a deep state of profound pessimism, feeling incredibly and deeply disappointed, truly disappointed in themselves and their current circumstances. They are experiencing a significant sense of regret and a profound feeling of loss, which is weighing heavily upon them at this very moment. And there's also this very important point to consider. Your counterpart, the individual you are connected with, is currently experiencing a profoundly painful and challenging process. It's as if they are completely failing at this very moment, and all of this intense emotional turmoil and internal struggle is happening entirely within them. They deeply regret the things that have transpired here. And yes, it is also very much about their own personal mistakes and the errors in judgment they have made. A new beginning is also shown here. A new beginning. And yes, let's take a closer look now at what's actually going on, okay? Right now, he's in a defensive mode, a defensive stance. And yes, he's kind of seeing things as the glass being half empty, you know? And yes, I see this pessimism very strongly in your counterpart. So let's see what else is going on there. Are we there yet? All right. Yes, King of Swords. The King of Swords represents this kind of observation in your counterpart. There's also this uncertainty and this coldness. I sense him very much in his thoughts. He's completely ruled by his head right now. And it's like always just the thoughts, you know? There's this maybe a bit arrogant at the moment, reckless even towards you, because I sense his headspace is very dominant. So it's like this. The mind rules, but even the thoughts, the mind itself doesn't really know where to go, where to. And yes, he's kind of stuck there, especially when it comes to material things. You can also see that there are a lot of thoughts about material things, about what matters to him. And that's where his focus is right now, the material, the financial, you know, just skimming the surface, staying on the surface. And but there's also this reflective, thoughtful side, this looking back at what once was between the two of you, or what else might be there, you know? Yes, there are also these thoughts that are still blocked right now. Growth, whether there are still chances, you know, that there could be a new spark, especially in love between the two of you, that things could pick up again. And then this looking back too. And this looking back is just completely aimless right now, yeah? But then there's also a lot of uncertainty, because there's a bit of that dreamy, reflective quality, and then also this dreaminess that now wants to come out again, you know? But I sense a lot of insecurity in your counterpart. So now let's see if we can get even more clarity. Do I even have sound? Yes, the sound is there. What is becoming increasingly and profoundly apparent, and indeed strikingly evident to observers, is a pervasive and deeply rooted sense of mistrust. This mistrust is not merely superficial, but appears to be a fundamental and undeniable aspect of the current situation, making its presence felt in various interactions and observations. Mistrust and really also a complete withdrawal, pulling back, a complete retreat on your counterpart's part. The mistrust even mistrusts itself and actually doesn't really know where to go. Pure pessimism, completely full of doubt, doubts about what is right and what is wrong. Even doubts love itself. And there's the sense that, yes, maybe one or the other has ended the connection here with you, has withdrawn, has closed themselves off. He may have ended the relationship, ended contact, but now he's completely full of doubt because he didn't feel good about that decision. He shows you this coolness too, right? This coolness, this pessimism, and always withdrawing just to avoid making any mistakes. Very much focused here on work, on money, or generally on activities related to finances. He can't afford to make any mistakes here, but it also seems like a lot of things are going wrong for him at the moment, right? Things aren't working out in that area either because I see a strong sense of loss here. Also, from an official standpoint now, this could be government offices. I see these difficulties coming up quite strongly, and there are complete blockages there and nothing is working anymore. So I see wrong decisions on his part. I see bad investments with your counterpart, wrong decisions. And even professionally, I see that his activities always seem to have these, missteps involved. So things just aren't really working out. I'd say he's only half-heartedly involved when he does something here. Or she, a bit of a collective thing, right? Yeah, then your counterpart, I see disappointment and sadness coming through very strongly here. Yes, but I also sense some small fears about doing something wrong. And there's also disappointment in the communication here. He knows that he's disappointed you. He or she knows that they've disappointed you. I sense frustration, very strong influences in the professional area, in the financial area, in his environment. I see stress here with authorities, trouble with authorities, with government offices, could also be banks, right? So if there are banks involved, there are authorities, there are several things, right? For some people, there might also be a few legal matters that are kind of pending here. And yeah, that's what I see, completely. I have to say, I really see this heaviness, this annoyance very strongly in your counterpart. It's constantly on their mind completely. Withdrawal, mistrust. He even mistrusts himself. He doesn't even know himself anymore where he wants to go, And he's also missing that warmth towards himself because he doesn't really have that trust anymore either. And everywhere I look, I see difficulties and obstacles coming up now. He's really feeling the disappointments, very disappointed, and is disappointed in himself. I see a lot of sorrow here. Sorrow because his determination, this complete grasp, this whoosh straight ahead, I see that a bit blocked in your counterpart. And as I said, the withdrawal from you is very dominant. There's this, yes, I see him as very drained, really lacking energy, powerless. And he's just functioning. He's just barely getting by right now. Also, the question going back to it is whether your counterpart will show you that warmth again, whether he will get back into those feelings, into the emotion. I'd say you are already a point of focus for your counterpart. And right now, he's still blocked when it comes to resolving things with you, but he's already on the path of change. The change to resolve this torment, this burden that your counterpart is carrying, to come to terms with himself in relation to you, because he already feels that the emotions are there. He's trying to push them away. Yeah, right? Right now, he's kind of blinded by others, by external influences, by his whole environment. So I'd say one thing led to another here, and your counterpart is just overwhelmed by everything. But your counterpart is also starting to slowly reconnect with his heart. He still has doubts about it. I can still clearly sense those doubts here, but no, let's just leave out the but for now. The doubt is whether he can truly give you all this love because he feels how much you love him or her. And your counterpart is on the way to getting back to that place. He feels it and it keeps coming up. Just in these little moments also bring a sense of abundance. They give more, Here, it depends on the amount, the volume that fills up like a bathtub. If you keep letting water run in, it eventually fills up, right? And that's exactly how I see it with your counterpart. He is repeatedly caught in doubt whether he can ever manage it, whether he can give that to you at all, whether he's even capable of being in a relationship. I see that because that's exactly his issue. There was always something that didn't work out, and he was either disappointed or disappointed someone else. Nothing worked out, no matter how he tried. I also see a major issue with jealousy, and with that comes a bit of a need for control, Almost like a compulsion to control at times. Let's put compulsion in quotation marks here. And yet still this need for control. But your counterpart has completely lost his routine here, lost control over himself as well. I actually see him here completely overwhelmed by tears inner tears, sadness, sorrow. Sorrow because nothing is working out at all. Doesn't matter whether your counterpart has now had contact or something else with another woman or man. I see that too if that's the case. It's not shown clearly here, but if that's the case, I also see your counterpart deeply immersed in sadness because your counterpart is now starting to wake up. Now he's slowly beginning to think about it, slowly starting to feel his heart again, and your counterpart will come back to you. He also wonders whether you might be doubting him or her, but the emotions keep coming up very strongly. The emotion that he is now completely sad in the situation he's in, but also the egoist who says, no, this radical, this cold-bloodedness, I have that in me as well, at least in part. And completely selfish. You will also notice, or may have already noticed, behavioral patterns from him where you think, wow, I don't even recognize him or her anymore. What's going on here? But that's because your counterpart has completely lost himself. He doesn't even know himself anymore. Nothing is working anymore. Nothing is going according to plan anymore. Everything has gotten out of control and nothing is the way it used to be. And more he feels that you are missing. And he knows that he was cold to you, that he treated you unfairly, that his current behavior towards you is unfair. But this is making him reflect and also wake up. Because your counterpart will seize the opportunity again and again to look back, this retrospection we see here, this warmth you radiate that relates to the past. And your counterpart longs for your closeness. Your counterpart needs you. You give him warmth. His environment, whether male or female, whether it's a new relationship or a relationship, yes, in quotation marks, because it's neither one thing nor the other, just an escape for your counterpart. And there he feels this coldness. This person is now waking up, or this situation is making him realize that all he receives from the outside is coldness. You are the person he perhaps didn't truly see for a long time because you gave warmth, and that's where the longing comes from, to receive this warmth. He misses you, he misses your closeness. And now step by step, he's getting closer and closer to that point. And yes, I also see that you will receive a declaration of love from him. You will feel it too. It will happen very quickly. The submarine, which is still lying low right now, will surface and then things will move very quickly. You'll be totally surprised yourself. Wow, what's happening now? And then, of course, you'll think, okay, is this just a brief appearance and then he'll disappear again? But I see stability here. Everything between the two of you will become stable. Even the contact itself. I also see meetings between you. The meetings, the communication between you, whether it's just communication or actually meeting in person. I see communication in general, that your counterpart will open up to you and actually tell you what's on his mind, that he's also disappointed in himself. And I also see an apology coming your way, that he is sorry. And also that you will be asked to forgive him And you will see and feel a softer side of your counterpart, something you probably don't even think about or believe in anymore since you've pretty much lost hope. But your formidable counterpart is truly waking up. And the comprehensive solution is definitely readily available here for precisely what is coming your way, if you genuinely allow it, if you still truly want it to happen. This change, this turn for the better, it will lead to healing. I see reconciliation here, and this difficult phase that is happening right now in this process, your counterpart is going through, will be completely resolved because they are coming back into feeling themselves, being in touch with their own emotions, and that he misses you, because I see a strong sense of longing and missing here. And overall, I find the reading here to be very emotional. I see the deep affection that he wants to show you. And when he approaches you again, he wants to make it public, no more secrets. He wants to openly show his deep affection for you and stand by it publicly. As I said, your counterpart is still completely caught up in this mistrust, still unsure whether he can even have a relationship. If your counterpart has such a dominant fear of loss, it creates a kind of barrier to committing to something serious because he knows that with you, you are truly special to him. And you don't play games with someone like you. And there are more emotions here than your counterpart may have ever expected. Your counterpart will come back into his emotions, into his feelings for you, and also into warmth. As I said, I see a lot of emotion here, a lot of warmth, a lot of affection directed toward you. And I also see that your counterpart will suddenly take quick action and everything will just come pouring out of him all at once, verbally. So these words, that's where you can see this lack of restraint when it comes to emotion, that he really starts to speak. It still falters a bit. It's a little sluggish and you think, come on, say something, just one more word. Keep going, keep going. That's how I see you. And then suddenly, bum, as if you tear the strings and then it goes nonstop and it really becomes very emotional. And here the conversation will get very emotional as well, which will also touch you deeply. But you're on high alert. You're observing yourself. I see you here watching. On the one hand, there's your heart, and you'd really just like to take her in your arms right now. But you're being careful so that she doesn't immediately pull away or retreat again. That's the position I see you in. But the question of whether the other person will come back towards you into the warmth, definitely yes. Yes. So let's take a look. How perfect is this, honestly? So on the one hand, we clearly have justice present here, representing a fundamental principle. And justice also makes it profoundly and unequivocally clear. This entire discussion is truly and deeply about fairness, ensuring equitable treatment for all. Furthermore, there is indeed a truly wonderful and profound solution to this complex situation, to concept of redemption, which offers a path to atonement and restoration. Redemption from this painful, difficult phase, from this process that your counterpart is currently going through. And the decision is very clear for him. He will listen to his inner calling, listen to his heart. And then we also have the rekindling of love, your togetherness. As I said, the decision is entirely in your favor. There are no more doubts about it. And your counterpart will also accept any guilt and will completely overcome the difficulties. Even if he's still ignoring it a little bit now, going into denial, he will definitely come to an awakening. And the wonderful solution is also guaranteed. Because where he is still closing his eyes now, suddenly his eyes will be opened as this feeling for you grows stronger and stronger. The longing and this warmth keep increasing. This longing that it can now take off your counterpart just needs a little more time. It's more in slow motion, a mirage, but he's gradually coming more and more into this feeling that it's you. The warmth, that's what he longs for from you. Of course, he's trying all sorts of other things here. What could it be? Could it maybe be a different bag of chips or a different flavor of chips? Or could it be a new laptop or something else or new sneakers or whatever, right? where he thinks, okay, maybe that's the longing, right? So I really sense this material aspect very strongly over and over again. He's trying to make up for everything a bit with material things right now. And yeah, but when he looks at his bank statement, he'll be confronted with something else because your counterpart currently has more expenses than income. So what do we have now? 10 of Cups, 10 of Cups, and then we have belonging. That's when your counterpart starts to get into this this certainty. You belong to him, he belongs to you, you belong together, and harmony will return. As I said, if you want it, because you two belong together. And your counterpart will also come to this realization. The two of you have an absolutely solid foundation for a shared future. And there will also be a conversation about that, you know, about the foundation for your future together, how you will create it or recreate it. Because your counterpart knows that with you, he can feel at home anywhere. You stand by his side, support him, and he knows that he has found his home with you. And that friendship is also more than just friendship. For you, friendship is also love, and that is developing again. And so you move out of loneliness and into healing. As I said, healing and reconciliation as well. The balance between the two of you will be restored. And so basically every cup will be filled. And even if some cups aren't completely full yet, they are gradually being filled more and more. We also mentioned the bathtub earlier. More and more is being poured in so that everything is there again. Every cup is present and every cup is filled for both of you. And if we now take the 10 of Cups, right, for this yes or no question, the 10 of Cups is a definite yes. Definitely yes. And yes, in terms of speed, we do see somewhat slower movements here. So it might take a little longer, but when it does happen, it will have stability. And it could really be 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, so within that time frame. But I'm always very cautious when it comes to timing, because time is always a rather tricky matter since you're the one steering it yourself. The more pressure you apply, the slower everything will move here, right? Stay confident if you truly want him or her. And so I would say, yes, where right now there might still be a maybe, this maybe will turn into a definite yes, right? So this back and forth, your counterpart is still experiencing this maybe will become a definite yes, right? Finding a home with you because he knows you are his everything. And on this path, he will definitely get there. And as I said, you will experience your counterpart and you'll think, wow, maybe you've always sensed that this was inside him, but he or she never let it out and could only show you bits and pieces, and yet you kept feeling that pain in your counterpart. And this, he wants to, but somehow he can't. But this blockage will definitely be resolved. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. I wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.